Imagine showing up to the bar with 15 of your closest friends in this. Well, now you can. The Pedal Pub just started operating here in downtown Cape Coral, and it's bringing new and returning customers to local businesses. Fort Myers was honored with the Blue Star Memorial on Friday. It serves as a tribute for the sacrifices the brave men and women of our armed forces have made, and it stands at an historic site in downtown Fort Myers. I'm here in a small park off of East Riverside Drive near Palm Beach Boulevard in Fort Myers, near the Caloosahatchee, and as you can see, a car submerged 20 to 25 feet in the water. Imagine growing up in your hometown with a sibling living just miles away, but never know it. That's exactly the case for two sisters who came face to face for the first time on Fort Myers Beach this weekend. Right now, the campus at Southeast seems mellow and quiet, but that will be a completely different story tomorrow as hundreds of freshmen pack in to begin a new chapter in their lives. Blue-green algae and a red tide kept tourists and locals away from the water all summer long. Since then, however, it seems as though things have cleared up. Scientists I spoke to today, though, say be careful. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. Brick by brick has been the motto since day one, and as Coach Tom Matukowicz looks to begin his third season here at SEMO, there is still plenty of progress to be made. Metro East police are looking for two men who ran off after a high-speed chase while driving in a car with a woman and two children. Sisters Alicia Henry and Alexis Fisher recently met in person for the first time.
Like, as soon as we seen each other, we were two sisters who know each other forever.
As the sun shined down and waves rolled in, they united on Fort Myers Beach on Friday.
So when we first met, we felt like we already knew each other. We're like, oh, hey girl. Like, we've been sisters, like, we've known each other for years.
But the two never knew of each other after being separated in the foster care system.
I think I was about 2.5, maybe 3 years old when I got put into foster care.
Now, all these years later, they're making up for lost time.
You know, we got our makeup done, we went shopping together. We just, everything that you want to do with a sister that's your age that you can do, we've done.
Despite growing up miles apart in Fort Myers, they found each other living half a country away. Alicia had moved to Iowa as a teenager.
We never grew up together, but I always knew she was out there, and I've always thought she was somewhere far, like in a different state. But when I figured out she was here, it was just like, wow.
But Alexis had changed her name from Kia Abigail Henry as a child, making looking each other up all the more difficult. Until finally, a breakthrough.
I wanted to get in contact with my mom to find out she was my mom. I was really excited, and I found her and I messaged her. I said, this is your daughter.
Well, my mom, I know her, and we kind of used to talk to each other. So she one day messaged me on Facebook and said, oh my gosh, I found your sister Kia. I can't believe this, because she had been looking for her for years.
That was back in October. Now, it's like they've never been apart.
Now we are really close. We talk almost every day.
Something not likely to end anytime soon.
We're going to definitely stay in contact, definitely.
Now, the two tell me that they're already planning their next trip, this time in Iowa, to meet again and forge a new chapter in their newfound sisterhood. Reporting in the studio, David Belleville, NBC2. It's an innovative business.
There's nothing like it in Southwest Florida.
It was so much fun. We had a really, really good time.
Rolling down the streets of a revitalized downtown Cape Coral.
I've seen the concept in some of the bigger cities, and it makes me feel good seeing something like that come to Cape Coral and give us that big city feel.
The Pedal Pub opened in Naples a year and a half ago.
It's just a big old pub crawl.
Up to 15 people ride on what's known as the Megacycle. They bring their own drinks and can ride to multiple bars. The owner says it's great exposure for local businesses.
A lot of people who didn't even know any of the establishments were here, we've brought them to it, which is really great. The people from Fort Myers come over here.
Coach says it's her goal for her customers to return to the businesses that the Pedal Pub takes them to.
You know, if you really enjoyed yourself at any of our stops, please make sure you go back in and support local businesses.
Something that Cork Soakers owner Bob Mulroy welcomes.
I think it's going to really dramatically help businesses down here in the long run.
His business sits along Southeast 47th Terrace. The streetscape project recently wrapped up right out front of his bar's entrance.
Well, I think it looks beautiful. I think it's really going to increase foot traffic.
He says the Pedal Pub can only help.
We're not on the main strip down there. We're a little bit, couple blocks off the beaten path, so to say. So I am happy to have them come down and bring people down here.
I'll have a link on how you can book on our website, nbc-2.com. Reporting in Cape Coral, David Belleville, NBC2. Once bustling with servicemen and women during World War II,
this was a hub at that point in time for people leaving to go to service or coming home, as well as all the people that came through to go for training at Page Field or Buckingham.
the old Fort Myers train station, now home to the Southwest Florida Community Foundation, is where this new memorial stands.
We wanted to honor them, as well as all the soldiers, past, present, and future, that are in the U.S. Armed Services.
The National Garden Club honors veterans and active members by installing these signs throughout the country. The Blue Star became an icon during World War II, honoring those who were fighting away from home. The 70th Blue Star Memorial in Florida is now displayed in downtown Fort Myers, honoring our local heroes, past and present.
We can only appreciate what went on during the Second World War and those huge, horrible battles in the fight for our freedom.
Chuck Solomon performed at the ceremony.
God bless America.
A part of the Gulf Coast Harmonizers. The event was much more than an opportunity to perform, however.
And it's a wonderful cause. It's a wonderful tribute to the veterans, past veterans, current people serving in the military, which I did.
Solomon's roots in the armed forces run deep, making the Blue Star Memorial all the more meaningful.
It is an emotional event. It makes me think of my dad, who served in the Navy in the Second World War.
He and his father remember now and forever in Solomon's hometown of Fort Myers. Now, the site of the next Blue Star Memorial has yet to be chosen, but when it is, we'll be sure to pass that information along to you. Reporting in Fort Myers, David Belleville, NBC2.